After blocking the Ministry of Finance request for another 319 billion shillings for this project over lack of accountability for funds released earlier, MPs on the Finance Committee today toured the construction site. Their question was, is there value for money for the over 400 billion shillings released so far for this project? And what they saw is a site after 2 years of construction telling a different story. A single grader and a handful of construction workers on these two facilities, which they said will be a training center and dormitories. The three finance ministers who made the request for more funds on Wednesday were present as representatives from the developer were grilled.
Did you get a formal clearance to start to hire people to do that work?
Like I've stated earlier, I beg that we respond to all these questions.
Among you people, do we have a registered engineer within Finasi?
Can you get us one?
People who are here, standing here with us with this kind of hats. You have a registered engineer overseas. Is he here?
They said works are at 23.3% with almost 40% of the project funds spent.
Now you only have $155 million. So there's going to be immediately, Honorable Minister of Finance, there will be a cost overrun. And cost overrun because what we are seeing now, there is no value for money.
And 23.3% of the value of the work is $58 million. Simple mathematics. That means we have overpaid them by over $36 million.
It later emerged that since 2019, two contractors have been disengaged. There is also no supervisor on site, and they could not provide bills of quantities.
It goes to my ministers. This shows a big weakness in your ministry. You're not following up. You're not following up on these things. You're sleeping.
The project was to take 2 years from mid-2019, but the developer used a contractual clause that exempts a company from fulfilling obligations in case of a natural catastrophe to extend the project timeline. They cited heavy rains and COVID-19 to extend it to 2024, something that vexed the minister.
So when you are telling me it will be this, it will be, you should be the one to say these projects must be finished and handed over to government of Uganda by such a date. Mr. Contractor, work within that space. It is possible. But for you, if you leave the contractor to determine when he will complete the job, then I'm sorry, engineer, I'm very sorry.
The developer's representatives and the owner's engineer, Jojo team, would not avail documents that MPs demanded.
This is being used to mass fraud our money as a country. So, Chair, I think it's a crime scene. Yes, it's a crime scene. The director of this company should be here because my brother here is not well informed of what's happening here. We need to lock down this facility and do mass investigation into what is going on here.
In the initial agreement cleared by Parliament, the developer was to borrow money, construct the hospital, and recoup the money through collections in 7 years. Government would only guarantee the loan.
Finasi is a broker. Is a Ponzi kind of a Ponzi company, Ponzi scheme, really. Because they cannot demonstrate. We've asked them, show us your bankers, show us your financial records. Because you can only redeem on the promissory note after you've completed the work.
The committee chairperson, Kefa Chiwanuka, directed the developer to provide the requisite documents by close of business Friday to help them compile the report to the main house. But some MPs have an idea of what their recommendation to the house should be.
No money should be given to them. There must be a value for money audit to be carried out so that we see whether the value of the money that has been sunk in is commensurate to what has been paid out. And if it is not, then they must refund, and that contract should be stopped.
From our findings, we realized that those people are incompetent. That is actually a briefcase company that is trying to deceive this country.
The investor behind Finasi Construction Company, Enrica Pinetti, has recently been the subject of an ongoing public debate over this project and another where her other company signed a contract to exclusively process and sell the country's coffee.
This woman is some kind of fraudster, I would say, or she's a mafia maybe, because you can't tell me that you cannot appear before people are investigating about you. You are the owner of the project, but every time they want to see you disappear.
As the MPs exited the site, the construction workers were also seen leaving. Edward Mhumza, NTV.